So, with any luck, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Hopefully you guys find your way back to this one. But for some reason, the one that I just set up turned itself off. I have no idea why. So, hopefully you guys find your way back to this version of the flight. Let me think what I can do. Alright, well, hopefully you guys find your way back here. That's all I can say here. Let's see. Alright, well, I'm gonna go get back to flying here. Hopefully you guys find back where I am. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. All right, well, so to those of you who may find this, yeah, I don't know what just happened. Like everything just went haywire. So the stream seemingly stopped on its own. No idea why. And then I couldn't get restarted. So let me get myself back to where were we? MPCI, I think. And then once I get there, we're good to go. Let me set I don't know what just happened. I was flying along talking to myself, happy as can be. And then I looked at my iPad and I realized nothing was being broadcast. All right, so we are looking for Mike Papa Charlie India. Okay, so now that's what we're gonna look for. Mike Papa Charlie India. Come on, let's go. All right, so and we'll load in. I guess that will look just fine. No, don't load at the fuel box. If you do that, you're not going to be able to get away. All right, so we'll go there. And what's our destination? This one is going to be MBPO. Sorry about that little interruption there. MBPO. I was kind of wondering why MPBO. I keep doing that. I was kind of wondering why nobody was talking, and then I realized that I was just talking to myself. So this one coming up is the cool airport of the bunch. This is the one I've been looking forward to seeing, which is Boca del Toro. So I don't know, Peter. I don't know what happened. It was totally bizarre. I was sitting there talking. I thought talking to you guys, and then the next thing I knew, I was just talking to myself. So sorry about that. So we'll get ourselves going here again. But this is this should be a cool little flight, and this is one of the ones I've been looking forward to. So 09er. It's gonna be a direct crosswind no matter where we go here in Boca del Toro. So we'll go runway 01, I think. Okay, external power supply on. Mixtures and props full forward, rotating beacon, master and battery switches on. We'll go these guys on. We'll go these guys on. We'll go mags on. And we'll just get started here real quick. Oh, look what I've done. This is what happens when you're in a hurry. All right. Go back up top. We got power. We've got fuel. We should be good to go. All right. There's the right engine. Left prop is clear. All right, good to go. Avionics master coming on. So, sorry about the interruption there, fellas. Peter, we are on the East USA server. Peter, it's okay, man. It's like, what is it? Gotta be, what? 10 o'clock where you are? All right, so mixtures and props full forward. Let's go nav and strobe lights on. We'll go landing lights on. Kill the parking brake here. All right. What's going on? Oh, don't tell me something weird has happened. Okay. I mean, something weird did happen, but at least it wasn't so weird that we can't resolve it. All right, so we're going to be departing runway 6. Sorry about that, fellas. Don't know what that was all about. Hopefully that's not going to happen again. And once again, I have to say this is a pretty cool little airport for a stock airport in the simulator. So we'll go mixtures and props full forward. We'll set the flaps. Fuel pumps are on. And now Black Square Islander today. Brian, really? There's a couple variants. Did you get the... If you got the turbine, it will definitely be different. Takeoff power is set. Engine instruments in the green. Airspeed is alive. If you got the turbine version, Brian, that will be... that will definitely be different. But assuming you didn't get the turbine version. So the other thing is too is I have a livery mod, so it might make the interior look different if that's what you mean. All right, so bring the props back here. All right, you guys had faith. I appreciate that. Alright, I wonder if that was like a sim issue because the weather looks totally different now than it did when I landed, like before I crashed, before the stream crashed. Oh, turbine, yeah. The turbine is a different airplane. The turbine's a different airplane. It's the same plane. It's just you know, 2 turbine engines. And it flies quite a bit differently than this plane. But yeah, the turbine's a cool plane. It's just it's kind of a different mission than this plane. Turbine is a really good cargo plane. Let's get. I'm gonna do 1,500 feet. So this place that we're going to is like let's set 23. Whoopsie. 23. Pull the power back a little bit. So this place that we're going to, yes, Brian, this is from the same company. This is the BN2A. So it's the other. They have 2 different versions of the same plane. They have the turbine and then just the regular piston version, which is this one. And I have both as well. I fly this one in all of these group flights just because it's an easier hopper plane. The turbine is more for like longer flights. It's an interesting airplane, the turbine, but it's just a slightly different mission than this airplane. And but anyway, but I like both of them. I have both of them. And Peter, I'll type in the server just so I make sure you saw that. Peter Jude, we are on East USA. So the other thing, so Boca del Toro is like kind of the hippie, like, you know, it's like all these places now that like 25 years ago nobody knew about, or, you know, 30 years ago nobody knew about, and now everybody knows about, and they're really expensive. And it's like, but this is basically the Caribbean coast of Panama. And it's not basically the Caribbean coast of Panama, it is the Caribbean coast of Panama. And it's just a cool, like, out of the way, remote, fun place to go hang out. And as a matter of fact, Mrs. IslandSimPilot is going to Panama in about 3 weeks. And I am not going. I turn my fuel pumps off. All right, fuel pumps are off, flaps are up. Get some trim in here. I got my FSU IPC trim set up again, which is good. Let me see, Brian. I'm gonna grab the link to this plane and I'll send it. I'll put it in the chat here. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Let's see. This is the one. Yeah, this is the one. I'll put this in the chat here. Let's see. There you are. And hopefully now I'm not going to have any more disconnects, but boy, life seems to have brightened up in the last few minutes. You know, the Spitfire reminded me earlier. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about the Japanese Zero. Yeah, the Bungalow. Absolutely, this is a cool plane. But I was listening to a podcast the other day. It's actually the Pan Am podcast, which is a really interesting. I'm not really a podcast guy, but the Pan Am podcasts are really cool. It's like the history of Pan Am, and the guy who wrote Star Trek and did like the first. He did the Star Trek TV show in the '60s, and I was never a Star Trek guy either. But he did the Star Trek TV show in the 60s and then did like the first 5, I think, feature films. I don't remember what his name is, but he was a director and writer of all those programs and those movies. He was a Pan Am pilot from 1945 to like 1948. And then he was involved in a Pan Am crash in the desert of Syria, when they were going from somewhere to, I think, Istanbul, Turkey, and they crashed in Syria. And after he crashed, he was no longer interested in flying, and so he got a job as a beat cop in LA, and he started writing the Star Trek series like in his free time. And anyway, George Takei, the Asian guy who was in the original Star Trek series, I don't remember what his character's name was, but he was talking about different aircraft and his relationship with the Star Trek writer, and they were talking about the Japanese Zero, and I had totally forgotten about that airplane, and I'm kind of like, it's known as like Sulu. Okay. That's awesome, Mr. Zulu. And what's sorry for coughing. But what's interesting though is like the Spitfire, the P-51, like we have like this reverence for, you know, even some of the German, you know, the Messerschmitts and things like that. I don't know that I've ever seen a Japanese Zero, you know, for in any of the flight sims. I'm sure there's one in DCS, the combat simulator, but I just thought that was kind of weird that that we have like this like all these historical fighter aircraft, and we don't have the Zero, which is kind of an iconic, you know, World War II airplane. But anyway, that was my hey, no problem, Brian. You're gonna love the plane. You like both of them. This is an awesome airplane. I really like this plane. So Brian, I'm not sure if you've heard the backstory. There's a lot of Star Trek fans. I was never a Star Trek fan, but I thought the number of like odd connections to Pan Am of like all these people that you know, but you don't really know what their story is. Like, you know, the fact that the Star Trek writer was a Pan Am pilot for 3 years is kind of blew my mind. Gene Roderick, yes, Bob, that's Gene Roddenberry, exactly. I knew it was something like that, but I didn't trust myself to guess. But it was really interesting. So anytime I go like on a long drive, I'll just pop on the Pan Am podcast because the news is too depressing, and it's some really interesting stuff. You imagine flying like, and bungalow. Believe me, I know what you mean. You know, I can remember thinking like, I'm 30, I better start taking life seriously. I'm 40, I better start I'm about to be 50 in like 10 months. I'm still not taking life seriously. Who knows, maybe someday. But the yeah, Peter. So Peter, I don't know if I ever told you guys this story, but what's the Spock actor's name? He just died recently. I should know this name. His name was Leonard Nimoy. So I think I might have told you guys this story at some point. Let me see this runway first. Runway 9. We're gonna go runway 9. I think it's right. Yeah, it's gonna be right on this little outcropping here. My grandfather was canoeing in the Adirondack Mountains in New York in the 60s with some of his hunting buddies, and one of them dumped their canoe. They flipped the canoe, and I don't know how old he was, Leonard Nimoy. Let me see. Maybe he's still alive. If he's still alive, I feel pretty bad. No, he died. Let's see. Leonard Nimoy died in 2015, so I guess it was actually a little bit of a while ago. But anyway, my grandfather and his hunting buddies dumped their still flight simming. Hey, Mark. I mean, you know what? That's the beauty of it. Flight sim is cool for a lot of people who can't fly anymore, who used to love to fly, and you know, for whatever reason, medical, financials, family, whatever the story is, it gives you a chance to keep doing it, you know, which is awesome. But anyway, so my grandfather was hunting. I think they were fishing in the Adirondacks, and one of his buddies dumped their canoe, and there was like an island nearby. They were in the middle of this lake in the middle of nowhere in the Adirondacks in New York, and so they were like, all right, well, let's go to this. Let's go over to this island. It was like the only island in the lake, and they went over to the island, and Leonard Nimoy was camping on the island, and not camping. They had a cabin on the island, and these people came out and were like helping him, and getting them out of the water and like helping them with their stuff. And my grandfather looks at the guy and he's like, I think I know who this guy is. It was Leonard Nimoy. So kind of funny. And my grandfather said he's a really nice guy. They brought everybody into the cabin, you know, warmed them up by the fire, and they got themselves together and got back in the boat, and off they went. Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm telling stories and I'm not paying attention to where I'm going. I'm guessing the airport's right there. And I'm guessing correctly. So this is Class Echo airspace, by the way. Yeah, it's gonna be the airport. Alright, so that's gotta be it. Yeah, okay, so this should be a cool airport, actually. And speaking of Spitfires, so this is one of the airports that I was looking forward to on this trip. Roll in some trim here. Mixtures and props full forward. Fuel pumps are on. And it's going to be a straight left to right crosswind here. Peter, just for you, I'm going to do a little bit of a slip here. There we go. And we'll go full flaps. All right. All right. Come on, baby. Make this one good. Eh, it was all right. That was all right. Let's see here. Whoopsie. I should probably start slowing down. Alright, we'll come up over here. Yeah, the Brian, that's funny. No way, Mark, are you serious? That's really cool. That's a lot of time flying helicopters. Hell, I don't trust helicopters. You probably do. Either that or you completely don't. One of the two from your experience. I've flown in a helicopter once in real life, and that was enough for me. I think I told that story a couple weeks ago. 26 years in the Army flying Chinooks. That's wild. How much flight time do you have in helicopters, Mark? It's a good life. Yeah, I bet. I mean, if you did it for 26 years, I'm guessing you enjoyed it. You know? Nice seeing the Islanders. It is nice seeing all the Islanders. My only helicopter experience was a Robinson R-22, and that was enough for me. Alright, what do we got? Let's see. We've got Mike Romeo Lima Mike. Let's see here. Mike 5,500 hours. Wow. Mike Romeo Lima Mike. Is that what I'm looking for? Yeah. I'd be interested in your take on what happened in DC, Mark. That seemed like a crazy place to be doing helicopter training, in my opinion, but who, you know, I don't know. Let's go Mike Romeo. Alright, let's check our alphabet here. There we go. Mike Romeo Lima Mike. I mean, the 1,000 hours of goggle time alone, that's pretty wild. That's the thing too about helicopters, that like you guys didn't get the training time that fixed wing pilots get. I don't think anyway. I mean, 26 years and 5,500 hours. What about 200 hours? 200 hours a year? If I'm doing the math right. Mike Romeo Lima Mike. And I know that the what kind of boggles my mind is the fact that we have literally $1 trillion military budget, and like we have limited training time. It's like you would figure with $1 trillion we could maybe get some flight time in for the pilots, but that must have been an interesting life, an interesting career anyhow. But yeah, my sole helicopter experience was in a Robinson R-22. It was a 15-minute tour of Providence, Rhode Island, and no door on the thing. Cannon with artillery, moving FH-70 guns. Had the gunsling under it. Ooh, yeah, I bet you that would have been. Oh, count all the sim time. I gotcha. That's interesting, Mark. That's a really interesting story. I bet you've got some good stories too. Let me see. I mean, I guess we can take off either direction. Doesn't matter. Alright, mixtures and props full forward. Check my trim here. Trim's okay. We're just gonna go straight on. Zoop. Alright, 70 knots. And yeah, but anyway, the Robinson R-22 I flew in didn't have a. So you can see this is kind of like it's like a little outpost in the middle of nowhere. Like this is Boca del Toro, and they've got all these little like these islands with these little homes on them in the middle of nowhere and stuff that you can only get to by boat. Kind of cool. Let's see. The Bell Jet Ranger. Where am I going? I have no idea. Where am I going? I guess I gotta go that way, which makes sense. There's 1,000 feet. Drop the nose here a little bit. Get the flaps up. Yeah, I did 15 minutes in an R-22, and that was enough for me. I have a buddy of mine who's like really interested in flying helicopters. Actually, two buddies of mine who are really interested in flying helicopters. But the problem with helicopters is that, well, the problem with helicopters for private pilots is you, hey Mark, take it easy. I really appreciate the stories. That was really kind of cool to hear. Love to hear some of your stories sometime. But the problem for flying helicopters as a private citizen is there aren't any for rent. Like you can't rent a helicopter to fly. So like so basically if you want to be a helicopter pilot, like a private helicopter pilot, you have to buy a helicopter. And as I'm sure as Mark can tell you, that helicopters are extraordinarily expensive to maintain. Like, I remember the guy who was flying us in the Robinson, he said that he said he does 1 hour of flight time or 3 hours of maintenance for every hour of flight time. I mean, that's a lot of maintenance, that's a lot of maintenance to say the least. So helicopters are interesting. Hey, Cash, how many pounds per hour you flying? You burning down there? 2,500 climbing 3,000. Yeah, just I don't know. In the Robinson, the door was off, and I wasn't too keen on that, to be honest with you. Yeah. 2,800 climbing 3,000. So it's that way to St. Martin. Probably about 3,000 miles. I will start bringing the power back here a little bit. Bring the props back. All right. 40 per. That's 80 total. Yeah, that's not built for slow flight or for low flight, either one. So this is, let's see, eventually we're gonna hit Costa Rica. This is gonna be, let me see here, where is the border? All right, the border is going to, and that's the other thing, there's like 50 little airports right along the coast here between where we are and where we're going. But this right here, that's the border. That's the border. But there's like, that's the border right there. That's where we're going to. And there's a ton of, I don't know. Surprisingly, yeah, see, there's a whole bunch of little airports right there. Maybe we'll check out one or two of them on the way. Oh yeah, Peter, they're yeah. I mean, Europe in general. What I find weird is that, like, the European airline programs, and there are a ton of them nowadays. Like those, what do they call them? Ab initio flight training, where they'll basically take 18-year-old kids from zero to hero in, like, 2 years, from zero flight time to first officer in an Airbus. And but they do all the training in the US, which I find bizarre. Like, I can't quite figure out why they don't just make flight training a little bit cheaper there and do it there, but they don't. Yeah, flight training, I mean, flight training in general is very expensive, but in Europe it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Oh, where's Buckman? Oh no. Nah, he's looking safe. Oh, he's saying bye because you're torching him. Torching him in a straight line. I mean, I don't know. So those European programs, like Swiss Air has them, like British Airways has them. All these different European airlines have these programs, but they all do the training in the US. And it's all free to the like, it's not like these kids take out loans to do these programs. It's crazy. You can't do 300 knots at 1,500 feet. You get in trouble for doing that. But yeah, I don't know. Fluffer, what's going on? You know what? That happens. That happens with the old PC now and again, but it's good to see you. How you been? Speaking of student pilots, we were just speaking of European flight training programs. But it's good to see you. I'm glad to see you back. Jamal, my back is doing okay. The funny thing is as you get older, the pain starts to migrate. So my back was bothering me, and then my knee started hurting, and now it's my knee that's bothering me a little bit. But otherwise, I'm good. You know what? I don't have much to complain about in life. But yeah, I was down. So Mrs. Island Sim Pilot is a Pilates instructor, and so I was down doing Pilates today, trying to get my sorry self into some sort of suitable physical condition here. But I'm doing good. Flipper, I'm doing fantastic. I've had a cough for 2 months now, which is a little bit annoying. But other than that, I'm doing good. Gosh, this is beautiful. And I'm using DLSS quality nowadays. I used to use DLAA, but I'm using quality nowadays, and it looks fantastic, in my opinion. I actually quite like it. And the performance is really, really good. So yeah, everything's pretty good in my neck of the world. I'm like starting to look at the long-term weather calendar, trying to get an idea of when we're not going to be freezing to death anymore. Let's see. So this little airport right here is in the Panama City, the Panama airports pack, I believe. I wonder how much fuel I have. We're good. All right, 311. Let me see. 311. We gotta go this way. Yeah. Let's see. There's 311, give or take. All right. So, let's see. Peter, my dad's doing well. He's pretty much returned to his normal state of affairs. You know, I mean, he's doing all the things that he likes to do, and but he's doing well. I mean, he's still got some limitations of, with the he gets around slower than he used to. Let's put it that way. But he's here. He's doing well. And I appreciate you asking. That's very kind of you. Chris, it's funny how that works, because that's actually exactly what happened to me. Is like, because my back was bothering me, you compensate, and then other things happen, right? And I was walking my dog like about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and my knee just like started like really hurting, and yeah, so that's what'll happen to you if you one thing starts to hurt and you start to compensate for it, and then the next thing you know, something else is hurting. Morris, we are I don't do a lot of night flying, actually, in either sim, and night flying is a blast, by the way. Night flying is so much fun. But I mean, like, the blurry screens, it's gonna be, it just depends on what your tolerance level is, and what is Bungalow flying today? The CC-19. What is that? It looks like a funny plane. I gotta look that up. But it depends on what your tolerance is for CC-19. Oh, the Cub Crafters. Gotcha. Okay. Morris, it just depends on what your tolerance level is. I mean, to me, like, I would have a lot bigger an issue with the DLSS ghosting, or whatever you want to call it, on the PFDs if I was flying jet fighters, for example, where like precision is required, and the numbers are going to be moving really, really fast all the time, right? Like if you're doing kind of dogfighting stuff or whatever. But like for a 737 or an A320, I just don't really have an issue with it. Never did. It's gotten much better than it was. Is it still there? To an extent, yeah. But again, it's kind of depends on what your level of tolerance is. And my level of tolerance for it is pretty high. Yeah, Fluffer, I've had this cough since Christmas, literally. But hey, house renovations are important. I'm gonna be doing I got a bunch of stuff we got to do in the house this year. But I'm glad to see you, Flipper. If you even if you're not able to stick around for long, it's good to see you again. So Chris, I have a golden doodle, and I have an absolutely hilarious golden doodle. I'll have to put pictures of him in the Discord. So my golden doodle's name is Benny, and he is absolutely hysterical. He's 9 years old, and he's if you met him, you'd think he was like 4. I mean, he's so like energetic and active, and like he does all these. He sits in all these really weird positions, and he's like super flexible, and he's like 9.5 years old, but he's a really fun dog. He's just super intelligent. I work from home, so I'm with him like all day long, every day, and it's just a good dog. And unfortunately, he has prostate cancer, but we're fighting the good fight and hoping that he's gonna recover from that, but we shall see. But he's a really good dog. Hey Flipper, take care. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, Lansing, Michigan will get you some snow, Jamal, that's for sure. Yeah, Bob's in Michigan as well. Adriano, happy Sunday to you as well. What's going on? We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you join us. Ziggy, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's kind of a bummer, but I got him in a clinical trial, believe it or not. I didn't know they did clinical trials for dogs, but they do. And look at how beautiful this is, by the way. But he's in a clinical trial for this autoimmune, like, what do they call it? Not autoimmune. I can't think of the words escaping my feeble mind right now. But he's in a clinical trial for this drug that's shown really, really good results for the type of cancer he has. So we're really excited about it. We're hoping that it's gonna. With dogs, they generally don't try to cure the cancer. Like they just manage it until the dog dies. But they've had dogs with this type of cancer survive it, which is really, really cool. So we're hoping that that's going to be the case with Benny. And it's kind of one of those weird things because, like, ever since we found out, as a matter of fact, he started showing signs of his cancer while we were in Anguilla last year getting married. And I swear, when I tell you that, like, the day we got married, like, all heck broke loose. And my dad got sick, the dog got sick, like literally on the day after we got married. But he's doing well. He's doing well, and what I was gonna say was, it got me to like appreciate more what was like, the everyday, just going for walks with him, waking up with him there. You value the time more when you realize that time may be limited. And then the more you get thinking about it, the more you realize how stupid that is, right? Because you should appreciate that time no matter what. You shouldn't only appreciate the time that you have with your family and friends when one of them is sick, And yeah. So anyway, the dog he's doing well. He's a good dog. And he's hilarious. Every morning he's got his whole routine about what he's got to have, and like, so I've started putting his medicine in raspberries, and so he loves raspberries and blueberries. Every morning he's got to get his raspberries, his blueberries. He's got to get he's got 2 different kinds of treats that he gets. He's milking this for all it's worth, and and he has no idea anything's wrong, He's happy as can be. I tell you, the coast of... Oh, I totally talked right past the coast of... right past the border. I was going to note the border. I guess the border was back here somewhere. Let me see. Yeah, the border was like right there. I was talking too much. Yeah, anyway. But it certainly is beautiful in this part of the world. I've flown into Costa Rica a couple times in the 737. And I don't know if I've mentioned, but I'm starting to get interested in Flight Sim 24 in the Islanders, the A321, the stock A321 is really pretty good in Flight Sim 24, and I've been flying that quite a little bit the last like couple weeks, and never flown Airbuses before, and I've actually quite enjoyed it, I have to say. And it's for sure a lot simpler an airplane to fly than the Boeings. I mean, everything is so much more automated, but I have enjoyed the Airbus, and I have a sneaking suspicion that we've got a stiff headwind. That is my sneaking suspicion. What's my ground speed right now? Ground speed's 135 knots. Cash, you know what you might want to try doing? Have you ever tried just deleting it and reinstalling it? So I had to reinstall Flight Sim 24 the other day because I was having issues with the A321, and they said that if you got it in the first 3 days that it was released, there's a decent chance you've got corrupted files from Flight Sim 24. So if you got it like right away, like if you got Flight Sim 24 right when it came out, try just deleting it and reinstalling it. It took literally 10 minutes to reinstall because it's not very big. There's not much to it, you know. So and since I've done that, it loads in like literally 45 seconds. This Flight Sim 24, it's super fast. Yeah, Chris, he's a great dog. He's a great dog. Benny's a hoot. Yeah, no, he's definitely not one of the ones that occurs naturally in nature. Benny is, you know, the doodle thing is all the fad now, right? You know, golden doodles and labradoodles and bernedoodles and whatever else. But they're just mutts, you know. They're mutts. They're whenever you crossbreed two dogs, it's a mutt. So they're basically glorified mutts. But he's absolutely hilarious. He's a really funny dog. Girlfriend of these Yorkshire Terriers. Yeah, little. That's funny. Adriano, I'm looking forward to the A350. That's what I'm really looking for. And I'm not an Airbus guy, but I'm looking forward to the A350. Peter, I did not get a chance to look at that yet. I haven't had very much chance at all to do any Discord or other related stuff. So the other thing that happened to me in like the last, I don't know, 3-4 days, 5 days. So Friday we've had all this really, like, we've had a really long snowy winter, and we developed this leak in our roof on Friday. So I've spent like all day Friday dealing with that. It's just been one thing after another. Let's see, we have got runway winds coming up are 060 at 8, runway 32 works for me, and we are probably 10 miles out. Oh, you did that about 5 times now. Yeah. But I tell you, I never had any problems running Flight Sim 24, but after reinstalling it, it literally, when I tell you it takes 45 seconds for the sim to load entirely, it's amazing. Ah, Limon. This is Limon, Costa Rica. All right. Yeah, the A350 looks pretty cool. Spearing bird. Yeah, I saw that. They've got a bird strike feature. I'm not sure that's a feature I want to try out. Flight FX, the P180 Avanti. Yeah, that's actually a pretty fast airplane if I'm not mistaken. And Ziggy, you know, the thing about the whole the thing about the whole study level thing, right? I mean, like the PMDGs can do anything. I mean, they've got any failure mode you can possibly imagine they have, and I've used exactly none of them. You know, I mean, so I don't know how important the whole study level. I mean, this airplane, you know, I think, yeah, all the fuses work and everything, but like, and it's obviously different than, you know, than a jet, but I mean, to me, as long as it's like as long as there's systems depth to it, and you know, it hand flies. Like I'll hand fly anything, you know. I mean, I hand fly the 737 as much as I can. I like hand flying, you know. I mean, the CRJ when I flew that, ATR, I definitely like hand flying. So I mean, as long as there's like decent systems depth and it flies well, I don't, you know, study level to me is whatever. I mean, I guess it's important, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is you have fun with it, you know. Peter, I will definitely do that because I don't know anything about the A321, and I appreciate you sending me that. But it's such a neat airplane. I'm surprised at how much I'm enjoying flying it because I'm not an Airbus guy. But it's an interesting plane to fly, and it has such a amazing range, you know. That was one of the things that really surprised me was what kind of range that plane has. So what's our runway here? Runway 32. So I think we're basically, I think those white lights in front of me are probably the runway end identifier lights. Let me see here. 32. About there. Alright, let's pull some more power here. Oh yeah, no, that's not the runway end. That's the other end of the runway that I'm looking at. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, $25 exactly. You know what? If you get a plane that you enjoy flying and it's $25, I mean, that works for me. You know? That totally works for me. Buckman, what do you say? Oh, you got little... Check that out. Like little houses along the river right here. How cool is that? That's really neat. So, I'm gonna have to do a... Am I gonna have to do a 360 or am I gonna make it? I might make it actually. Let me see. Yeah, Buckman, I am. I honeycomb everything. The honeycomb pedals are awesome. The honeycomb pedals are, I mean, all the honeycomb stuff is good. And I'm probably a little bit, I probably sort of take the stuff for granted now, how good it is. But the pedals are just awesome. The Charlie pedals are awesome. You know, Brian, I haven't checked those out at all. Those EFIS things. I need to kind of upgrade my home cockpit here. All right, we're coming up Coming up on 1,500 feet. Go. Fuel pumps on. And there we go. That's flap range. That's close enough for me. There is cash. All right. There's flaps. And I'm gonna try to make this a decent landing. I think we've been going about an hour and a half. I think I'm probably gonna stop after this airport. Let me see how far is it to the next one. Next one is, yeah, next one's 47 miles. We'll take a vote. We'll see what you guys want to do. All right. Okay, look at this. That is a VASI on the left-hand side of the runway. That is a visual approach slope indicator. It's rare to see. The two lights, the one on top of the other, that's a VASI. Alright, let's go. Props full forward. So mixtures and props full forward. Fuel pumps are on. Flaps are set. And we'll go second notch of flaps here. Let's see here. A little bit of a right to left crosswind, it feels like. This is a neat little airport. I like this. Look at that. One white, one red, all the way down till right now, anyway. Alright, let's round it out. Oh, that was a nice little crosswind landing right there. That was a nice one. That wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad right there. Let's take a look at what we got coming here. Oh, this is a cool little airport. I'm gonna run into Bob here in the back. Yeah, I think let me see here. I think Mrs. Island SimPilot wants to have dinner, so I think I probably have to go after this one. Planning on doing a long haul on the MD-11. That is I love that airport. EBBR. That's a really cool airport. And I'm guessing VTBD has got to be India somewhere, no? Brussels to where is that? VTBD. That was a nice landing too right there. Shep 61. And here comes the Kodiak. Very nicely done. VTBD. VTBD. Whoopsie. VTBD is, oh, Bangkok. Okay, Bangkok. That's a cool one, Peter. That's a cool one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. We've been a good hour and a half, and I think Mrs. Island SimPilot wants to have dinner, and I don't blame her. I want to have dinner too. There's mixtures to idle cutoff. Throttles are idle. Let's hit the parking brake here, and we'll go fuel pumps off. We'll go avionics master off, lights off, mags coming off, and we'll go, let's see, do we have, there we go. Let's bring the doors open here, put out our chocks and our boarding steps, and now we are looking good. Brian, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys stopping by. We are we're getting close to some really fun. Let me see if I can bring up Navigraph charts here, and should be able to. Where's Navigraph? There's Navigraph. So where we are right now is right here, and there is a couple of cool little, like, kind of coastal airports along here. Hey, Sheb, absolutely. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. And you see, so there's a couple cool coastal airports along here. And then this is looking pretty cool. Corn Island right here. I want to see that. And then we get up here. There's some other interesting stuff. Where are we? So there's Corn Island. This one I want to go see. So we'll hit Corn Island. We'll come out here. And then we'll come back and we'll continue our little run across along the coast. There's some islands along on this side once we get up here. So so we got some fun stuff coming along. And then eventually we get up here to the, I believe this is the Yucatan Peninsula, is it not? Is that? That's got to be Cancun. Yeah. And then once we get up here, we can head back over to Cuba. So got a little ways to go yet, but so far we've done. I mean, we started. Where did we start? Here. I mean, I think we started like in Puerto Rico somewhere, gone all the way around. Let me see here. Where's my Navigraph? Where's my drawing? I can draw on my Navigraph charts here. It's not gonna let me draw. Anyway, we've done quite a bit. We got some interesting stuff coming. Cash, I did some American Airlines flying this past week. I did Miami to Grenada. I did Miami to Barbados, and should be fun. I like flying VA stuff. So for those of you who don't know, I'm part owner of my own VA, which is Caribbean Airlines, which is, I'm sure, is not terribly surprising. But I never fly for my own VA, which is bizarre. But I want to get back to doing that too. But in any event, I'm grateful for everybody coming out today. I appreciate everybody's support. Sorry for the little glitch we had in the middle of the stream there, but it was a little odd. But Bungalow, appreciate it. Hey, you know what? I miss him too, Bungalow. I'm glad we're back at it, and hopefully, oh, you know what? Wednesday I have to bring the dog for chemo Wednesday afternoon, so I'm not gonna be able to do it this Wednesday. So I'll see if maybe Wednesday, maybe Tuesday or Thursday, but we'll be back at it next Sunday for sure. And hey, Bungalow, same to you, my friend. And Bob, Cash, Peter, Brian, I appreciate you coming out. Sheb, Chris, thanks so much, guys. Fly UK Virtual. So I did. I'm in American Airlines Virtual, Caribbean Virtual, and Lufthansa Virtual. And Lufthansa is just because they have some really cool, European. I actually really am interested in flying more African flights. And Lufthansa has some really cool Africa routes. But hey, Buckman, appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. And Adriano, I really appreciate you coming out as well. So yeah, we'll get back at it. If we don't get to it, like either Tuesday or Thursday, we'll be back next weekend. We'll do some more flying on Sunday. Peter, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, my friend. Yeah, maybe Tuesday. Oh, Tuesday and Thursday. Shab, we might be able to do that. You never know. Yeah, Kenneth, we're absolutely. We've actually done. Let me see if I can bring up. Oh, I don't have it open right now. But we did some Dominican flying, and we did some really cool stuff too. This airport in Haiti there's a really, really good freeware, Cap Haitien, really good freeware there. But yeah, the Dominican was fun. But so we've done all of Cuba. I mean, not all of it, obviously, but we've done Cuba, we've done Jamaica, we've done. We have done the Caymans, we've done Turks and Caicos, we've done all, Haiti, Dominican, Puerto Rico, all along in here. I mean, all down the chain here, all the way across here. I mean, we've done, and then we went in here, Lake Maracaibo, when we came out, we came around Colombia, came down Panama. I mean, we've done quite a bit. Pretty wild. But we'll definitely do that, Kenneth. We'll definitely do that. So this is kind of like the maybe what halfway point of our. We're basically just doing a big Caribbean tour, like all the way around, which is pretty cool for doing it in small planes. You know, it really is. But anyway, I'll let you guys know about like either Tuesday or Thursday. I would say Thursday is probably more likely than Tuesday. But again, thank you guys all for coming out. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday and good start to the week. And you guys have fun. Bungalow, appreciate it. Jamal, take it easy. Santiago de Cuba. I believe we flew there. Jamal. If I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, so we'll pick it up. We'll pick it up next time, fellas. Thanks again, everybody. I really appreciate you guys coming out. Take it easy.